The small auto repair shop sat on the corner of a quiet street, squeezed between a laundromat and an old coffee shop that smelled permanently of roasted beans and cinnamon. The sign above the garage door read, River Street Auto Repair, and it looked like it had been there for decades. Inside, the sound of metal tools clinking echoed through the garage. Ethan Cole wiped his hands on a rag as he leaned over the hood of a dusty pickup truck. Grease smudged his fingers, and his dark hair fell slightly across his forehead as he focused on the engine. To anyone passing by, Ethan looked like an ordinary mechanic. Simple clothes, worn boots, a modest life. But the truth was something entirely different. Ethan Cole was a billionaire. At 34, he owned one of the largest automotive technology companies in the country. His company had revolutionized electric vehicle systems, making him one of the youngest self-made billionaires in America. But none of that was visible here. No one in this neighborhood knew who he really was. And that was exactly the way Ethan wanted it. For the past 6 months, he had been living a life far away from corporate meetings, private jets, and endless interviews. The success that once excited him had slowly started to feel empty. People treated him differently when they knew his wealth. Every conversation felt calculated, every smile felt rehearsed, so Ethan decided to disappear for a while. Not permanently, but long enough to remember what real life felt like. He bought the small repair shop under a different name and started working there himself. It was quiet, honest, and for the first time in years, Ethan felt like people were seeing him, not his money. One afternoon, as the sun warmed the pavement outside the garage, a small silver car rolled slowly into the parking lot. The engine sputtered before finally dying. The driver's door opened, and a young woman stepped out. Her name was Lily Bennett. Lily looked around nervously before walking toward the garage. Her long brown hair moved gently in the breeze, and there was a mixture of frustration and determination in her eyes. Ethan noticed her immediately. "Car trouble?" he asked casually. Lily sighed. "Yeah. It started making this awful noise about 5 minutes ago, and then it just stopped." Ethan nodded toward the car. "Let's take a look." Lily watched as he walked over to the car and lifted the hood. Within seconds he began checking the engine with practiced confidence. "You're lucky," he said after a moment. "That's good news. It's just the alternator belt. Nothing major." Lily visibly relaxed. "Thank goodness. I was afraid it was something expensive." Ethan smiled slightly. "I'll fix it for you." "How long will it take?" "About 20 minutes. Lily leaned against the side of the car while Ethan worked. The garage smelled of oil and metal, but the open doors let in a gentle afternoon breeze. After a few minutes, Lily spoke again. "So, how long have you worked here?" Ethan shrugged. "Long enough." Lily laughed softly. "That sounds mysterious." "Not really. Are you always this quiet?" Ethan looked up from the engine. "Only when I'm concentrating." Lily smiled. "Well, you seem very good at what you do." "Thank you." For a moment they worked in comfortable silence. Then Lily noticed something strange. Despite his mechanic clothes, Ethan carried himself differently than most mechanics she had met. His posture was confident, his voice calm, and his words thoughtful. He didn't seem like someone who had spent his entire life in a garage. But Lily pushed the thought away. 20 minutes later, Ethan lowered the hood of the car. "All done." "That was fast," Lily said, impressed. She reached for her purse. "How much do I owe you?" Ethan thought for a moment. $20. Lily blinked. "That's it." "Yep." She handed him the money. "Thank you," she said sincerely. Before leaving, she hesitated. "Actually, can I ask you something?" Ethan leaned against the car. "Sure. Is there a good coffee place around here?" Ethan pointed next door. "The one right there is pretty good." Lily looked at the small cafe beside the garage. "Do you ever go there?" "Sometimes." She smiled. "Well, if you're not busy, maybe you could join me." Ethan hesitated. It had been a long time since someone had invited him to something so simple. "Okay," he said. They walked into the cafe together. The warm smell of coffee filled the room. They sat near the window, sunlight falling across the wooden table. At first the conversation was casual. Lily explained that she worked as a freelance photographer. She loved capturing everyday moments, people laughing, children playing, sunsets over quiet streets. Ethan listened carefully. "And you?" Lily asked. You fix cars all day. Mostly. Do you like it? Ethan thought for a moment. More than I expected. Lily smiled. I can see that. Over the next hour, they talked about everything. Movies, travel, childhood memories, life goals. Ethan felt something he hadn't experienced in years. Peace. Lily wasn't trying to impress him. She wasn't interested in his wealth or influence. She simply enjoyed his company. Over the next few weeks, Lily returned to the garage often. Sometimes she brought coffee. Sometimes she stopped by just to say hello. Their conversations grew longer. Their laughter came easier. And slowly, something deeper began to grow between them. Lily admired Ethan's humility, his patience, the way he listened without judgment. Ethan admired Lily's warmth, her creativity, the way she found beauty in small moments. One evening, they sat together outside the garage watching the sunset paint the sky orange and pink. Lily turned toward him. Can I ask you something? Sure. Why don't you ever talk about your family? Ethan hesitated. My parents passed away a few years ago. I'm sorry. It's okay. What about before this job? She asked gently. What did you do? Ethan looked out at the fading sunlight. Something different. Like what? He smiled slightly. Nothing interesting. Lily laughed. I doubt that. Despite her curiosity, she didn't push further. She respected his privacy, and that respect made Ethan care for her even more. Months passed. Their relationship grew stronger. They spent evenings walking through quiet streets, sharing stories and dreams. One night, as they sat in the cafe where they first met, Lily said something that caught Ethan off guard. I think I'm falling in love with you. The words hung softly in the air. Ethan's heart raced. He had known this moment might come. But there was still one truth Lily didn't know. Lily, he said gently, there's something I need to tell you. She looked at him curiously. What is it? Ethan took a deep breath. The repair shop. It's not really my main job. Lily smiled. I figured. You did. You don't act like someone who's been fixing cars his whole life. Ethan laughed softly. That obvious? A little. He leaned forward. I started a company about 10 years ago. Okay. It became successful. How successful? Ethan paused. Very successful. Lily raised an eyebrow. Define. Very. I'm technically a billionaire. For a moment Lily just stared at him. Then she burst out laughing. Nice joke. I'm serious. Her laughter slowly faded as she studied his expression. You're not joking. No. Lily leaned back in her chair, stunned. You mean this whole time? I wanted to see who people would treat me the same without knowing. And I passed the test. Ethan reached for her hand. You didn't just pass it. You reminded me what real love looks like. Lily sat quietly, processing everything. Finally she smiled. So, you're telling me I accidentally fell in love with a billionaire mechanic? Ethan laughed. Something like that. She squeezed his hand. Well, good. Why good? Because I fell in love with the mechanic first. Ethan smiled warmly. And I fell in love with the photographer who saw me as just a man. Outside, the city lights flickered on one by one. Inside the cafe, two people sat across from each other, realizing that the best kind of love isn't built on wealth or status. It's built on honesty, kindness, and the quiet moments shared between two hearts that found each other when neither expected it. And for Ethan and Lily, the truth didn't change what they felt. It only made their story more extraordinary.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.